calm. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow, giving, receiving, as love shows us how. Wake now, my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer thy limits and praise the sublime. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the white sky. Take as your neighbor, both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. I now invite Rose.
Thank you, Anastasia. That was lovely. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I am glad we are here together today. We gather today in the spirit of sacred cycles, of rest and renewal, of waking and rising. Just as the earth turns through the seasons of dormancy and blossoming, just as the moon waxes and wanes, and just as our own bodies move between sleep and wakefulness, we too are called to honor these rhythms in our lives. Today, we reflect on what it means to rest deeply, awaken fully, move with awareness, and rise with purpose. This month of April is alive with holy days from many traditions, each inviting us into reflection, resilience, and rejoicing. From Palm Sunday's procession and Passover's story of liberation to Good Friday's solemnity and Easter's promise of renewal, we witness the dance of shadow and light. Vaisakhi calls Sikhs and others to celebrate harvest and justice, while Earth Day reminds us of our covenant with the living world. These observances, though distinct, all speak to the universal human journey through struggle, toward hope, through darkness, into dawn. Wherever you are in your own cycle today, whether weary or energized, grieving or celebrating, may you find here a space to breathe, to listen, and to be. Together, let us explore what it means to rest when needed, to wake with intention, to live with awareness, and to rise in love. Welcome with all that you carry. Welcome exactly as you are. And I invite Carol to share our chalice lighting words.
This chalice is one public symbol of Unitarian Universalism, a faith tradition that many of us share. Please join me in saying the Star King School for the Ministry chalice words, which will be in the chat. With the kindling of this flame, we reaffirm our commitment to accept life's gifts with grace and gratitude, and to use them to bless the world in the spirit of love. The lighting of The red and white candles are a tradition brought to us by Emerita President Reverend Rebecca Parker to accompany the chalice lighting. The white candle is lit to symbolize violence, suffering, and death, and to serve as a reminder that we gather in times of war. The red candle symbolizes the abiding reality of love and the shared work to restore the human community and the earth to wholeness and harmony, and to serve as a reminder that this is the work that we are called to do. I invite Rose to offer our land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Carol. And now let us pause to honor the land and its original caretakers. We gather today in Oakland, California, the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ohlone people, who have stewarded this land since time immemorial. We acknowledge the violent displacement and ongoing injustices wrought by colonization, and we commit to bearing witness to both their resilience and the work of repair still needed. May we honor their legacy by tending to this earth and amplifying Indigenous voices. And we will be lighting a green candle in honor of the land and this earth. Land acknowledgements are not merely words. They are calls to action. We invite you to reflect on the land where you currently reside. And if you feel moved, please share in the chat the name of the Indigenous peoples in your area. And also, if you are involved in any actions or witnesses and you would like to share them, please share them in the chat. And let us remember that we are all guests on this earth, bound by a shared responsibility to justice and reciprocity. And I invite Anastasia to share our next hymn with us.
Please join me in singing All Creatures of the Earth and Sky. And if you feel like channeling this in the form of a prayer, as I feel called to do, please join me in that as well. All creatures of the earth and sky, come, kindred, lift your voices high. Hallelujah, hallelujah, bright burning sun with golden beam, soft shining moon with silver gleam. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Swift rushing wind so wild and strong, white clouds that sail in heaven long. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Rising morning praise rejoice. High stars of evening find a voice. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Embracing earth you day by day, bring forth your blessings on our way. Hallelujah. Send fruits that richly grow, let them the glory also show. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Beloveds, I will now share a poem with you from Cole Arthur Riley, author of the book Black Liturgies. The poem is called Resurrection. Climb back inside. Your body, no more split selves, minds without skulls, thirst without tongues, flail and shake like a haunting. You are alive. And with those words, I will now offer this prayer, calling forth the spirit of life, the spirit in our hearts, the spirit that connects us with the now and the being and the multitude of existence. I praise you in the wonders and invite the spirit of those wonders to enter this space of our loving and belonging as we go through the cycles of day and night, as we traverse and travel and find peace and comfort, despair, difficulty, renewal, and rejoice in the cycles of sleeping, of awakening, of arising, of putting forth the challenging, sometimes painful work of just being present to all that is, to all that will be, to all that is now. We call forth that spirit so that we may touch with the subtleties and the powers and blessings of life, so that we know that when the moment feels oh so difficult, that not only are we not alone, we share this abundance in the spirit of love, of unapologetic, fearless compassion, and a desire to live life fully in the kinship that we share with all living beings. And I ask you all, beloveds, to seal this prayer in a way that is meaningful to you. Ashe.
Thank you, Anastasia. Our guiding words for this service today are asleep, aware, arise, awake, out of order. An alliterative approach to our non-linear cycles of being, or perhaps an orderly spiritual practice. I'll start this cycle with sleep, with being asleep. Sleep is such a multi-use metaphor. We use a form of the word sleep or asleep to signify ignorance, inattentiveness, an escape from reality, avoidance, a state of numbness, unfeeling and unthinking. Sleep can be a welcome escape, and we all need that sometimes. We use asleep as a way to not speak death, dying, dead, instead naming a form of eternal slumber. On the physical level, sleep is a regenerative time when our bodies force us to rest, to repair, to refill our energy stores, and to rejuvenate our whole selves. I appreciate all of these thoughts of sleep, of being asleep. And today I want to talk about my experience of sleeping, that state I aspire to every night, and all that might occur during that time until I awaken. I want to acknowledge all of the work that occurs during sleep and how this all becomes part of my spiritual practice. In sleep, I don't often remember my dreams, and when I do, it's just for the smallest flash of time. And when I begin to imagine and add details that seem logical, knowing that I've lost the initial feeling of the dream in these imaginings, I've accepted that. So instead of the details, I try to hold the feeling of the dream or the emotions present upon my awakening from it. That feels more authentic for me. There is a reality I can work with. Otherwise, I spend too much time inventing and holding on to a place in time that I made up anyway. Why is this important? It's something I notice, that's all. In one of my classes, we were assigned a practice of daily meditation. I struggled at the time to fit that intentional stillness into my day. A family member required extra care, and I was always on high alert, ready to meet those urgent needs. I didn't have time for settling down. I think it was accidental when I started to meditate immediately upon waking up. It was easy to remain in bed and claim more time for relaxation. It may have held a touch of laziness or reluctance to start the day. And after a few days, I was amused because I sometimes fell asleep when I meditated. And didn't I just sleep for hours? Yet this was a different sleep. This was a transitional time. Sleep into wakefulness. Instead of holding myself in laziness, I began to notice how calm I was when I did wake up. In these morning meditations, I experience a gentle shift in my awareness, holding space to acknowledge the remains of the battles of the night, engaging with the noise and chaos that remains from sleep, grateful for the ideas, the spirit, the nature of that which is only present as I sleep. I imagine night warriors, not as fighters, but rather as my night protectors, guiding me through another world that comes alive when I sleep, protecting me from terror, weaving possibility into that which I can't or don't speak of while awake. I honor the struggles, the conquests, the dream time, each part of me knowing that I will surrender to that mind space when I sleep again. I accept the gifts and blessings left for me from that part of my existence. I allow space for the spirits of chaos, holding that space as sacred and holy. The way clears for the spirits of the day, starting it in quiet. I emerge from this sleep meditation clear-minded, peaceful, curious, and welcoming. I awaken each morning to the newness of the day, clean and clear, a space for my intentions to live unencumbered by the fears and pains of what might have been, informed instead by the lessons gifted to me in sleep. I envision my night warriors exhausted, turning to their own well-deserved rest during my waking hours, handing the task of me over to the day guardians. It's oddly comforting. I've given the night crew shapes and find comfort in the knowledge that I am held and well cared for, even when I am unaware. I listen for and observe what may have been crafted during sleep, gifts of clarity and knowledge, of growth, and offered to me during this transition time from sleep to wake. I accept these gifts gladly, with curiosity and gratitude. This is still my practice, and this is my favorite time of day.
Beloveds, I offer a song. I offer a song to you that is an original composition, a meditation, a contemplation of sorts. There is no danger in going to sleep, so rest, so rest. Now the morning is here, and so are you, dear one. Dear one, how did you awaken? Was it out of a dream that was not done with you? Was it out of a memory now lapsed? Did your eyes decide to crackle open, parting the crust? Did your eyes even feel like they had a choice? Then the rest of you might follow. Then the light might beckon you to move. Do you resist it? Do you chase it? Do you resist it, or do you chase it? Who is the you deciding you to rise? Who is the you saying, we are here to rise you? We are here to rise you. We are here to rise you to another plane of existence, which happens to be here and now. You've arrived to the here and now. Are all of you here? Did you give it a second thought? Do you know that you have arrived?
Thanks, Anastasia, for the music and the contemplation. I'll continue in the cycle reflecting about awakenings and risings. Beloveds, we are here today, gathered in community, remembering that moment just before dawn, when the earth dwells between night and day, when it's not completely dark, nor is it yet light and bright. All nature waits for the sun to cross the threshold and present its light to us in many different ways. This is the balance point, the liminal space, the transition between what was, what has been, and what is yet to be. And it is here what we call, when we hear the call, awake, arise. The spring equinox, as well as the autumnal equinox, depending on which hemisphere you are right now, reminds us that life moves in cycles of contrast and transformation. It is a sacred moment, an invitation to reflection. Perhaps we might be in a season of new growth, just like spring, emerging from a long, barren period of time, daring to bloom once again, even in the face of uncertainty, despair, and fear. Or maybe we stand on a pile of leaves of some sort of autumnal tint, called to release, to let go of what no longer aligns with our higher selves, trusting that the fallen leaves will still nourish whatever comes next. The faith tradition present in Unitarian Universalism calls people to be awake to the world as it is right now. It's a call to witness its beauty and its brokenness, its potential and its injustices. To notice the urgent needs all around us in our local communities and around the globe. Awake to injustice, awake to suffering, awake to the ways we are called to show up with love and intentionality to be able to bless the world. Awakening is only the first step. It should lead to rising, however you're able to. We might not be able to save the world from all its unfairness, but it's possible to use our gifts to bless one another and ultimately to bless the earth. We arise when we make the effort of choosing compassion over indifference and apathy. When we choose to listen carefully and to hold space. When we say yes to the work of repair, and also when we take care of ourselves and claim our own boundaries. We arise when we resist despair and easy answers and claim hope, but not a mindless hope that ignores the harshness of reality, the gruesome part of it, but rather a fiercely grounded hope that believes in change, that change is possible to be achieved through the power of spiritual reflection, community, and collective action in many different forms and shapes. We arise also claiming that sense of interdependence when we remember that we are held in a greater web of being, and that none of us really stand alone, and that to move forward in a spirit of compassionate care is to realize helping one another is essential and never really a one-way street. Let us take some time to reflect throughout the season how we have been nourished by others, how we have been nourished by the earth, and how we can nourish others and how we can nourish the earth. The equinoxes are able to bless the earth with the lesson that life is more than just a single season. There's more than blooming, but there's also more than bleakness. Nature, it dwells in both. May we awaken to the sacred threshold of this very singular moment. May we rise to encounter ourselves in our own personal seasons and to encounter each other. And may we move forward with courage, carrying the blessings that we are giving and sharing them with others, knowing that the dawn always comes again. May it be so.
I'm glad you're here today, and I want to thank you for participating in this service with us. This is a time when we intentionally hold ourselves and this community in healing love. So, our question today relates to our theme: asleep, awake, aware, arise. And I would ask you, where are you on your spiritual journey? You can put your responses in the chat. We'll read them aloud as they come in. And this can just be a reflective time for you. I would say on my spiritual journey, I've been looking for a place of equanimity, and awareness is where I stand. I look forward to seeing your responses.
Carol is looking for healing and human touch. And you can also speak out loud if you so desire. Amy thinks she is awake, but she needs to spend some time asleep. And Megan is feeling an openness and lightness as spring arrives and the light returns. Steph says today they are awake. The striving part of Steph's brain wants Steph to be more, but Steph is quiet that part and just say that today I am awake.
I am I am in the void between awareness and arising, and am accepting that arising takes much effort and is not easy.
Sophia shares that she has a heavy heart and wants to sleep for a while. I will say I have enjoyed my sleep, but I am very awake at the moment.
I think there's some truth to, as you age, perhaps you need less sleep. Because at this stage in my life, I get about 4 to 5 hours a night, and my partner wishes that I would sleep longer and be more quiet.
Is there anyone else who would like to share where they are on their spiritual journey? Reverend Chris, would you like to share?
Well, since I was put on the spot, I feel very aware right now. Reading the news, reading about a person who was deported due to administrative error, and then the government saying it's powerless to bring that person back. I'm aware, and I want to know how we arise together.
Thank you. Nathan shares that he is asleep.
In this moment of tenderness, I lift up Myanmar. Lots of people have died in their recent 7-point something earthquake. They're entering permanent sleeping. We wish them safe passage.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, hearing, and seeing each other. Join me in 1 minute of quiet. Our quiet will be broken by music.
Beloveds, please join me in our closing hymn. For the earth forever turning. And if you feel called and inspired to sing this song either outwardly or inwardly as a song of praise, holding all that tenderness, that appreciation for what we have, as well as keeping it side by side with that sorrow and frustration with things as they are unfolding in the world today. Let that come forth in this hymn. For the turning, for the skies, for every sea, for our lives, for all we cherish, sing we our joyful song of praise. For the mountains, hills, and pastures, in their silent majesty, for the stars, for all the heavens, sing we our joyful song of peace. be our joyful praise to thee. For the world we raise our voices, for the home that gives us birth. In our joy we sing, returning home to our blue green hills of earth. Thank you, beloveds. We now send you forth with good words and blessed tidings. I send you forth with this heavy, yet spacious and light, open, springy, transitional heart to go forth, be alive, be present, be joyful for what is, what can be, and what is yet to come. Thank you.
I hope we embody the spirit of awareness, and may we be able to rely on one another to awake to new perspectives. We wouldn't be able otherwise. Amen.
My hope for all of us is continued awakening and awareness. And may we find the way to arise.
Now the ears of my ears awake, and now the eyes of my eyes are open. And I thank you, God, for this most amazing day. And I thank you all for coming and sharing this time of faith and community with us today. Blessed be.
And may we all bloom into our awakening. Blessed be, friends.
Now is the time to connect in community with Cyber Chat. I have 2 announcements before we turn to that. First,